The case of the Lavi fighter program. In the mid-1980s, Israel, heavily subsidized by the United States, embarked on an aviation program to independently design and produce a fourth-generation tactical fighter aircraft. This aircraft was called Lavi. The reality of the Israeli program is that there was nothing independent about the Lavi. The general airframe design was a virtual copy of Lockheed's F-16, and the advanced avionics and fire control radar, as well as the engine that made up the aircraft, were all borrowed products of American industry. I say borrowed because it never cost Israel $1 to purchase any of this equipment, nor did Israel's defense companies have to purchase the rights to reverse engineer the equipment, some of which was in fact reverse engineered by Israel's military industry. The Lavi was basically an F-16, bearing improved offensive and defensive electronic equipment, top-of-the-line, semi-experimental hardware that had not yet even been incorporated into US versions of the aircraft. In addition to this, the Lavi also had canard wings to increase its maneuverability. This specific design philosophy was experimental, but proven by previous European designs, but it was an extremely expensive kind of technology because it requires a very complex computer to actually take control of what is otherwise a completely unstable airframe. In the end, the project was cancelled after having cost $1.5 billion US, with 3 working prototypes having been built. Whilst the aircraft did not enter production, Israel held on to the technology secrets, again, which are really US technology secrets, that made up these prototypes. In 2004, China unveiled to the world its so-called domestically built 4th generation tactical fighter, the J-10. Almost immediately, it became apparent to US military analysts, defense officials, and intelligence agencies officials that this so-called domestic Chinese fighter had a particularly Israeli inspiration to its overall character. Here is a picture of the Lavi fighter. Here is a picture of China's J-10 tactical fighter, which is now in frontline service, with hundreds having been built. The obvious airframe design similarity aside, what this picture will not show you is the aircraft's very advanced fire control radar, which has been reported by official sources to actually be a knockoff of the Israeli-made ELM 2021 radar, produced by Elbit Systems, who in turn received the technology from the United States. This fire control radar, which China is completely incapable of indigenously producing, and therefore has received it from Israel, who received the technology for free from the US, is capable of tracking 6 targets simultaneously and having the intelligence to engage 4 of those targets, which are calculated as the most threatening. The Chinese J-10 program began in the 1980s, around the same time as the Israeli Lavi program. In 1995, the US government openly raised concerns about Israel's re-exporting of Lavi program technologies to China, and despite official Israeli denials, in 1997, US naval intelligence stated a strong conviction that Israel was in fact selling US-derived technologies from the since-failed LaVie program to China in assistance of its J-10 program. And if official suspicions and obvious visual evidence are not enough, then, after endless denials by Israel, David Larry, the General Director for Israel's Ministry of Defense, finally admitted in an interview with the Associated Press that Israel had sold, quote, some technology on aircraft, end quote, to China, and that some Israeli defense contractors may not have, quote, clean hands, end quote. Indeed, the degree to which China has had its military modernized and augmented by Israeli advanced weapons systems and electronic equipment extends far beyond the LaVie program. It in fact includes the modernization of Chinese naval warships with fire control radars that greatly extend the range of their ability to detect and engage enemy aircraft and ships, and the provision of Israel's Python 3 air-to-air missile, which is an upgraded version of the already advanced US-built AIM-9L Sidewinder heat-seeking missile, which gives Chinese fighter jets an all-angle dogfight capability.